everyone. Welcome to THL Hearthcenter, your show bringing you the highlights of what happened in the last week of THL. I am one of your hosts, Lotus Knight, and I am joined by an amazing crew as always. To my right, we have Geranium Battle. Geranium, how are you?
I'm doing very well. It was an exciting first week of THL, and a lot of reversals in many different ways. So glad to cover it.
For sure. And to my left, we have Azalea Kari. Azalea, how are you doing? Azalea?
He's dead. Sorry, I forgot I had Discord muted. I'm doing well. I'm super excited to be here for another season of Hearthcenter.
Awesome. It's going to be a great one. And we also have Super Chicken. Chicken, how are you? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, feeling a bit better. Certainly better than last week. I'm excited to cover all the matches from last week of THL.
We have quite a lot to cover, so before we hop straight into the matches, I'm going to talk about Player of the Week, because we are back with the one and only Player of the Week for Week 1, and we're going to start with our hero Player of the Week. Now, Chicken, why don't you tell us who is our hero Player of the Week?
For sure. Our hero Player of the Week is... Wait, this is not updated.
It's Heat Shock.
Oh, okay, sorry. I read my name. I'm like, well, I don't play hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Heat Shock. Even though week 1 is not the deciding week of the season, it is often is very crucial to get off to a great start in the season. Heat Shock was able to start his season off with a reverse sweep on Highlander Shaman and secure the Department of League Administration a week 1 victory. Congratulations on a frog-tastic win and Player of the Week.
Nice. Congratulations, Heat Shock, on winning Hero Player of the Week. Geranium, who is our Legacy Player of the Week?
Our legacy player of the week is none other than Key Was Full. Key Was Full and the Blind Bandits played their first week as a fully blind team in THL, and Key Was Full took a 3-0 victory and is the current Big Game Hunter title in Legacy Series. Congratulations on your victory and best of luck the rest of the way.
Nice. Congratulations, Key Was Full, on an amazing win. And finally, Azalea, who won Pro Player of the Week?
Our Pro Player of the Week was Halo. It's never a great feeling to start a week off 0-3 in matches. The possibility of winning that week is riding on multiple sweeps in matchups that are usually unfavored. But if you're looking for a miracle, look no further than the Imposters Week 1. Halo stepped up and delivered the first blow of a 1-2 knockout by sweeping against Rainbow Mage. Though this was the most exciting way to win a week, let's hope the future doesn't need any more Deus Ex Hearthstone matches.
Nice. I want to give a special congratulations to all these teams. This is quite the feat, so congratulations, all of you, for winning Player of the Week. And if you want to win Player of the Week, what do you have to do, Azalea?
Well, to win Player of the Week, you have to keep winning, and winning
For
in
sure.
team matches definitely help.
For sure. Something extra that I want to say is, now, if you're not looking to win yourself, but you want one of your teammates to do it, what can you do about that, Geranium?
One of the best ways to get someone Player of the Week is to get nominations in. If you think there's another player that deserves Player of the Week, or if you think maybe yourself that you deserve Player of the Week, have someone get a nomination in. We put the nomination forms out every single week, and then that's who we know to pay attention to.
For sure. Keep an eye out. This is a great opportunity for you to get Player of the Week and for you to recommend your friends. We want to value the people who you think are great in THL. So, with that said, why don't we move straight into Hero? Everyone ready?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, so the first hero match we're going to talk about is Ogre Flow out of bounds exception facing No Noon Too High. Azalea, what was that about?
All right, so we have my team going up against the team captained by Rock U. This the week started off early as two of our matches were played on Tuesday. I played first, and I got a 3-2 win over Roofski. A very close match, but Paladin did not let me down. And then in the 3 seed, Critical took a 3-1 win over Hustle later that night, followed up by Lemur's 3-0 sweep of Always Just in Time. In the last 2 matches, Rocked U was able to get a 3-1 win over Zangster, and Bill Snyder able to close the week out from a tied state to secure his last 4 points, 3-0 over L-Bomb.
That is quite the win here. It was a huge week. What do you think about it, Chicken?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of shamans and a lot of warriors. There were 10 warriors and 8 shamans, which is a bit surprising to me. I would have expected like shaman to be the most popular and then warrior second, but seeing that Enraged Warrior is an archetype that has not really changed since the start of this year of Hearthstone. Yeah, it's pretty easy for people to just bring the class and feel comfortable on it since they've probably already played it a lot. And there isn't really much in the way of like deck building you need to do or like card choices. So it's a very solid bring, and it gets pretty good results kind of all the way from the 5th to the 5 seed. So it does make sense that we're seeing a lot of it, but I have heard some anecdotal evidence of people not really liking the deck right now and thinking it's a bit overrated.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, I would add my hero match had 5 games, all of which were lost by Enraged Warrior.
Yeah.
One thing I'll also note is people are seeing DHs. I know that DH is not very popular anymore.
Yeah.
But this maybe one reason for the class diversity is that these classes were submitted not that far after the patch that week. It was I believe patch on Tuesday and then submission on Thursday.
We submitted on Monday. Me and Hustle and Cal and Brucey, we all submitted on Monday.
So yeah, so there were 2 DHs on their side. I probably would have brought it if I had put games on the deck, but I did not put any games on the aggro DH, so I steered away from it. Although I will say it did get the 2 wins were from that Demon Hunter. That was a menace.
For sure. Let's move on to our second match we want to talk about here. And I'll stick with Geranium to tell us about Dola facing the Last Dance.
Of course. Department of League Administration won a very tight series, but a very high scoring series versus the Last Dance, 15-14. That came off the back of, I think, early wins were Saku winning 3-2 over Jim Philos and Neji Boston winning 3-2 over Ron Mexico, keeping the series very close. Then I think it went to Diamond 3-1 over 2-Star Mako and Dragon Rider 3-2 over Tab. And then in the final hours of the week, Heat Shock and Dankestad played, and it was on Dankestad's stream. And Dankestad went up 2-0 on his, I think it was just normally Reno
It was Reno
Blood
that.
DK, not XL. Not XL is what I was trying to think.
Yeah.
2 games up on Reno Blood DK, and then Heat Shock's Shaman, that Dankestad did not respect ban, ended up sweeping the rest of the way. Some very early Dr. Holidays.
Lots of Doc on forward. But it was a great series overall.
Mm-hmm. It does sound like a great series there, just looking at some of the pictures. Azalea, anything you want to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, these are 10 players who are so, like, I don't know, they're all amazing players in their own respect. Happy to see, like, I'm happy to see it's cool to see such a close match. And I mean, I can't imagine how many times Neji and Ron have played each other over the years, but another match in that saga. Yeah, it looks like Diamond's moving up to the 2 seed in this next week with Dankestad's loss, so I'll be curious to see how that plays out.
For sure. Any final points anyone wants to make about this match before we move to look at the standings?
Yeah, it's nice to see Dankestad following in my footsteps of the Diamond Neji Hero Team 2 seed, starting off the week 0-1. That's kind of where I was at this time last season. You know, if he wants to really commit to the bit, he could lose the next week as well, and then win the rest of his matches, which is certainly possible. I think Dankestad is, I think he enjoys, or at least excels more in a Stalar meta where he can bring some unfun for the opponent decks into what they might bring.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to point out, I mean, here you can see the real, there's not really much class diversity. There's a lot of druids, paladins, shamans, mages, warriors along these, and then, you know, a couple DKs. So here you can see that, like, submitting later in the week when the meta got more figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's take a look at the standings. Chicken, what does Hero look like after this match?
So at the top of the standings, we have F2L Black in first place with 21 points. Then in second and third, we have Dola and Dad Legend at 18 points. Right behind them, we have Ogreflow Out of Bounds Exception at 17 points. Then behind them, we have The Last Dance at 14 points. Tied for sixth place are No Noon Too High and A Precarious Moment at 10 points. And rounding out our Hero Series, we have a Premium Mountain. So, APM teams combining for less points than any of the top 3 teams. But I've seen an APM team win Hero Series once or twice, so I'm sure either of these teams could come back with a huge bounce back week.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Anything else anyone wants to share about Hero? All right. So I'm going to use this opportunity to move us into Legacy. For first match of the night, Big W Esports facing Dad Legend. And Chicken, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, we had the Yumish players plus the addition of Turtle now against a storied team in Dad Legend. And Big W Esports took it 13-9, giving themselves 16 points to start the season. In the 1 seed, we had Turtle taking down Halo, who I believe made his return to THL this season, who had played previously, I believe. But yeah, making his return in the 1 seed in Legacy Series. Then L-Bomb took a 3-0 win over King Viking 23. Then Pescatarian took a 3-1 victory over a Harmless Dog. Then Ring 13 and Haster swept their matches as well, rounding out the week. So had three sweeps and 2 3-1s. So generally a fairly low point week for both of these teams. Even like getting 3 wins and only getting 16 points is a little bit low, but I'm sure Big W Esports isn't complaining. But yeah, 9 points to start off the season is certainly not something you'd be happy about if you're Dad Legend.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not. Now, Azalea, anything you want to comment about this one?
I mean, notably, there was 3 Death Knights on Dad Legend side, just for classes. Not a lot of Shaman, and not a lot of, and only 3 mages to the 4 brought by Big W Esports. But overall, a good win for Big W Esports. They had a slow start last season, and it looks like they've gotten off to a better start. So congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Big W Esports for quite the tight win.
Yep.
Let's take a look at another match, and I'm going to ask Geranium for this one. Why didn't you tell us about Just Pimpin facing E.T. Cthulhu?
Yeah, Just Pimp In took a close win over E.T. Cthulhu this first week, winning 14-12. It stayed close the entire week. Again, I believe it started. It started, I think, with Hudak winning 3-0 over Wax Strats, but I think very closely after Lowbrow Low Ladder took a 4-game win over Skirt Reynolds. Then I believe it was Always Just in Time winning in Game 5 over Jammies, all of this very early on in the week. And then a little bit later on is when we got to Eternal, winning a Game 4 match over Mojo Powell. And then finally, in the final hours of the week, with it being 10-10, Pokemon 661 won a Game 5 match over Superhero.
Nice. Now, Azalea, anything you want to add about this match?
It seems like all these matches kind of went just back and forth. The amount of games that were played early in the week is a bit surprising to hear, because it just throughout the matches. But I mean, I don't really have that much to add to it. The top 3 seeds for Justin's team getting the job done, and I'm sure that Mojo and Skirt will definitely pick it up. Will definitely be picking up as the season progresses. So this team looks pretty good to start the season.
For sure.
Yeah, I will mention the all classic of Skirt Reynolds, the previous season MVP, losing match 1. I do it. Everyone does it.
Yep, I did it. When I almost won MVP a couple seasons ago.
Mm-hmm. Now, with this one, let's take a look at the standings for Legacy. Geranium, what do the standings for Legacy look like?
Of course, split between the 2 conferences. Starting with gold, we've got Defias leading the pack with 19 points. I think they were pretty much leading the pack last season too. The Last Dance closely behind at 18 points. Big W Esports at 16 points. Then 10 Gallon R Hats at 11, Dad Legend at 9, and Standard THL Degenerates at 8 points. Not very far behind at all. It's just about 1 week's worth. And then Red Conference, we've got F2L White at 19 points. A Posse they were actually at 23 points. My mistake.
They were 23 pointing you.
Yep. A Posse Missing, Lost Boys, at 19 points from their first week. Just Pimp In at 17 points. E.T. Cthulhu started with 12. The Stubbs at 8. And Blind Bandits with 7 points to their name.
Mm-hmm. Anything else anyone wants to say about Legacy? All right, so I'm going to bring us back to the main screen for our commercial break. So Geranium, tell us about subscriptions in Twitch Prime.
Yo, 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 yo. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today to be to subscribe yourself to our channel. This subscription enables our team to help cover the cost of operating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the amazing THL chat badge. So hit that thumbs up button and make sure you catch our streams. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest. The website is teamhearthleague.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord at Team Hearth League and face us on Hearthstone at Geranium Battle number 1683. The true Hearth legend, Saku, continues to post all our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to see everything previously recorded. You're, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel or possibly on our YouTube channel. And for all you THL fans out there, there are THL match shows most days of the weekend. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for that Hearthstone-related content. Now back to the good part. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow indeed.
Such a palate cleanser to hear the original version every time.
Yeah.
Right?
I tripped up at the beginning because it's not exactly the original version.
We always change it a little bit.
We keep a couple for fun.
Well, we kept the yo-yo-yos. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. I like it.
So, shall we move on to Pro?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Chicken, I'll start with you. Why don't you tell us about The Last Dance facing CMU?
Yeah, we had two very solid teams going at it this week. We had The Last Dance versus the Cheesemongers United. Last Dance making it to the semis last season, I think, and then Cheesemongers doing the same? I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
that. Yeah, they were on opposite
yeah.
sides of the bracket.
Two semifinalist teams from last season, and yeah, as you might expect, this came down to the last match being very, very close.
What was the last match?
I actually have no idea.
Nice. That's fair.
Yeah, I actually, admittedly, I was because I was feeling sick. I wasn't paying too close attention to a lot of the matches last week. So it could have been, but could also maybe wasn't. Who knows? We do a little spreading misinformation, but anyway, yeah, this is actually really interesting because The Last Dance actually only won 2 matches, but still got the win. This is the fabled sweep both your matches and get a couple 3-2s back the other way to win the week still. Yeah, and I always like seeing stuff like that because you win less matches, but you won more games total. So yeah, The Last Dance takes it by the slimmest of margins, but I'm sure the Cheesemongers will bounce back from this. Getting 12 points in a win is certainly better than getting like 7 or 8 or something like that. So certainly have a lot of things to be proud of from that week.
For sure. Azalea, anything you want to say here?
Clash of Titan teams. These teams have made players from these teams and all of Cheesemongers United have all played in the finals. Yeah, maybe the only person who hasn't been in the finals is Aquaman from everybody here. So, like, star-studded matchup, very close. Love to see it.
For sure. For sure. Any final thoughts about this match before we go into our second pro match of the night? All right. So the other pro match that we're going to talk about is the Imposters. And I'm going to ask Azalea to tell us about the Imposters facing APM.
Okay. All right. So, unfortunately, I don't have the order of matches, but I'm gonna guess that the last two matches. So I'm gonna say that Chewy and Yo Daddy, it was a 3-2 for Yo Daddy. Bone Master gets a 3-2. Oddlaw gets a 3-1. Bone Master over Toucher, and we've got Oddlaw over Zangster. The second to last match was Halo, our pro player of the week, getting a 3-1 over Reverb. And then we've got Lemur getting a 3-0 win over Maxi to complete the comeback. Another team that only won one match, the same exact formula as the previous match.
Sweep 2, get couple 2-3s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The first three matches, the three wins that went APM's way happened very early on in the week.
Yep.
And so it was kind of funny. Bowmaster showed a little hubris and said, "Pro thumbs up." And then it wasn't over.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's shocking to see this team was in the finals last time. And they're starting a season struggling a bit after quite the weird finals. But we'll see what happens to them. Maybe they can, I'm sure they can still come back. There's plenty of time for everyone at this point. How many weeks do we have of pro?
8? Maybe? Probably? I'll look at the
You
schedule.
say that they're struggling a little bit. They won 3 of their 5 matches, so
8.
they would have
It's
classically
true.
won most
8.
times.
8 weeks of pro.
Well,
I believe every series except for probably, I know Wild is only 5 weeks, but I think every other one is about 7 or 8 weeks.
mhm. I will remind everyone that teams have already won series, even though they won only 2 matches of their finals. Has happened before.
Yep.
All points matter.
What's Albatross display mistakes?
So, shall we take a look at the standings? I'm gonna ask Azalea if they can tell us what are the standings for pro after this week. Who's doing well? Who isn't?
Of course. So in Black Conference, starts off with Staff of the Four Dubs and Owl at 23 points, getting that full 5 wins. In second place below them, we have Imposters at 16. Below them, we have Aussie Pro Mafia at 12 points. Followed by F2L with 6 points and AFG Pros at 3 points. Over in the Pink Conference, we have Brushy Tuna at 23 points. We have All Possible Means at 20 points. The Last Dance at 16 points. Cheesemongers United at 12 points. And Opportunistic Pro Players at 9 points.
Nice. So we can see, there's still space for everyone to grow. A lot of teams doing very concentrated well, but there's still so much to happen. So the standings are really just an initial view more than anything else.
Absolutely.
Anything else anyone wants to say about pro before we go back into our main screen for final words?
20-point weeks is crazy to think about.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot of
There was three. I believe there was like almost 3 or 4 20-point weeks across THL.
there's a very funny amount of homogeneity between like the series. You have like 20-point teams. Like you have two teams that won 13-12 despite losing 3 out of the 5 matches.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
I
what-
mean, this is not the first time that pros started off with some 20-point teams. I think 2 seasons ago there were 2 teams in the same conference that had 20-point weeks.
that's crazy.
Um,
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, the real thing is teams have lost their first weeks and gone on to win the season before.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is not
oh
this
yeah.
is not
Oh,
a death
absolutely.
sentence.
Yeah.
So, I'll come back to our main screen where I have our checkout question of the night for you all. And I want you to tell me one card you think is going to change this week. We have a possible balance or probable balance batch coming in by Friday. So my question, or Thursday or Friday. So my question for you all is name a card that's changing. And what is the change? Just one card per person. So I'm going to start with Azalea.
Oh boy. Hmm. I think Splish Splash. I think Splish Splash Whelp gonna potentially see a nerf. It's a very strong card. Being a two mana card that has wild growth attached to it. Because generally, if you have it in the mulligan and you have any dragons, you're automatically keeping both, so like you're gonna guarantee it. And even if you don't, it's still quite likely in a dragon focused deck that you're gonna see a card to get 2 mana wild growth on a body. I like. Does it have to get nerfed? I mean, it probably not. I think that I think I'm very intrigued by its entirety. But yeah, I'll say Splish Splash Whelp.
Okay. Geranium, what is a card that gets hit? And what does it go to?
Yeah, I mean, while I wouldn't be surprised if Wild Growth went from 2 to 3 mana, it's happened before. I'm going to talk about a different card from Dragon Druid, and that is Dragon Golem. For people who don't know about duels, Dragon Golem is almost single-handedly running the entire duels metagame.
That and cat.
And it has been confirmed that they are going to do something about Dragon Golem in duels. Now, this could mean just banning the card from the format. They've done that before. But since it's also pretty good in Standard, my thought is they do a 1-2 punch and take away the taunt keyword from Dragon Golem. That is one of the main things that helps it in duels, is that there's a passive that reduces the cost of taunt minions by 2, which makes it a really powerful card. But in Standard, if it didn't have the taunt keyword as well, I mean, that might allow some of the more aggressive decks to have an even easier time. Things like Enraged Warrior wouldn't have to worry about the huge taunt wall that they had trouble before with Drum Circle. So I think removing the taunt keyword could happen.
And Chicken, what do you think is going to change? Single card.
I might have to pick Reno for the single card, just because it seems like the card on its own is powerful enough that people are starting to build Highlander decks for classes that don't even have like a class Highlander legendary. But it seems like the Reno hero is a little bit overtuned for what it's meant to do, I think.
A little?
It's absurd. These
Yeah, it is crazy. Like
The
it's
stats
like,
on it are crazy.
yeah, it is pretty absurd. So I think maybe we'll see the effect toned down, like either removing the Maybe it'll poof all minions off the board as opposed to just enemy minions, or maybe it won't. It'll restrict the opponent to like 2 minions next turn, or maybe it'll just go up in mana cost. That's also quite possible, I think.
If I were to
But yeah,
guess, they're
well,
just changing it to 9.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because like it kind of gives you like the hero power at the same time.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed about the card is that it says it's high noon, and then it, yeah, as you said, only restricts one side of the board. I'm thinking maybe what if it makes it so both players can only have one, or the same thing. What if its battle cry generates a Reno in your opponent's hand? Hmm?
No.
That would be great.
That would
That
be
would be
would
be something.
that would be that would be a dead card in 60% of decks at Legends.
Then everyone would have to be Highlander.
I will note, although Reno has absurd numbers, its main comparison, which is good old Zeph, had such absurd numbers as well.
Yeah, Reno. I know we weren't supposed to do long spiels, so I will just give a quick. I'll just say, in 33% of Legend decks, 62.9% played win rate, 53 mulligan win rate, kept 42% of the times. Like, it's that good that we're keeping a 8 mana card in our mulligans almost half the time.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
All right then. I want to give a special thank you to Azalea Kari, Geranium Battle, and Super Chicken for joining me this week. This was a shorter show, mostly because we're still in the beginning of the season, so keep an eye out. There's still a lot to go. Hearthcenter will be back next week. In the meanwhile, we will have match shows. You can volunteer to play on stream. We would love to see you there. If you want, please DM the stream match channels, and we're always looking for great matches. With that said, I want to wish you all good night, and we'll see you later. Bye, everyone.